What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we had a very, very interesting press conference. First press conference, first face-off, first photo shoot involving the highly anticipated undisputed super middleweight showdown between four-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is currently the unified WBC, WBA, WBO, Ring Magazine Super Middleweight World Champion. Canelo Alvarez, superstar boxer, 56 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 38 big wins by way of knockout. Canelo Alvarez, 31 years of age, stands at 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. With that said, he'll be taking on undefeated IBF Super Middleweight World Champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant, who is 21 wins, no losses, no draws, 12 wins by way of knockout. Caleb Plant is 29 years of age, stands at 6'1" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, they held a press conference in which the press conference got very, very chippy once they came face to face. And Canelo Alvarez, he shoved Caleb Plant across the stage. Caleb Plant, he came back. He swung with a left hook that connected on Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez threw a 2-punch combination, which connected on Caleb Plant. And the rest is history. Canelo Alvarez was asked afterwards, why did this take place, and why did he, push Caleb Plant across the stage? Okay, and Canelo Alvarez, he responded by saying the reason he pushed Caleb Plant across the stage was because Caleb Plant spoke out of line regarding Canelo Alvarez's mom. Let's just listen to what Canelo Alvarez had to say for the reason and why he pushed Caleb Plant across the stage.
No, what happened is he started talking a lot of things and I answered, and then the bad thing he said you can say whatever you want to me.
The pause right there is that he said that Caleb Plant said MF, okay? And so that was the pause. That was the pause you heard, okay?
He's not here, nothing to do here. So that's why I pushed him, and then he came back with a left hook.
So Canelo Alvarez is saying that, Caleb Plant used a term describing his mom out of line, okay? And so Canelo Alvarez is claiming that it's a language barrier, right? He don't understand, what that word means. You understand? So this is why he pushed Caleb Plant, because he says that Caleb Plant was talking directly about, his mom. And so he says, you can say whatever you want to say about me, don't involve my mom. Now, Caleb Plant, he came back and he said that was absolutely not why Canelo Alvarez did what he did. It's the fact that Canelo Alvarez, is just upset because I called him out for his team and his trainer, longtime trainer, well-renowned trainer, future possible Hall of Famer, who is a trainer of the year, Eddie Reynoso, who has now had four fighters test positive for banned substance, that being Canelo Alvarez, Martinez, Oscar Valdez, and Luis Neri, okay? And Caleb Plant, he absolutely let it be known, expressed his, displeasure with the fact that, there's no place in the sport of boxing for fighters looking for unfair advantages, and the fight is already risky itself. So Caleb Plant, he called out Canelo Alvarez and his team. He said the only reason they're doing so is because they're not confident that they could compete on a natural scale, okay? And so, Canelo Alvarez, he says that the reason that, he pushed Caleb Plant was because he didn't understand the MF word that was used by Caleb Plant, and he felt that it was used directly towards his mom. But on the contrary, we have figured out that Canelo Alvarez is not telling the truth. And it's simply because Canelo Alvarez is sore about the comments made by Caleb Plant on Twitter. Why do we know that? Because we know that Canelo Alvarez has been in a position where he used this word towards another fighter, that being undefeated 2-division world champion, who currently is the WBO reigning middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. He's also used it against 2-division world champion, superstar boxer Danny the Miracle Man Jacobs, when they had a fight, okay? And so most recently, though, he used it in a press conference where right after his fight with Billy Joe Saunders, when he unified the titles, Demetrius Andrade, he came to the press conference and he crashed the press conference and he asked Canelo when he's going to get his opportunity, so on and so forth. And Canelo Alvarez, he lost his cool. Demetrius Andrade, his dad, or lost his cool, and they were going back and forth. And guess what word Canelo used to describe Demetrius Andrade and his father? You got it. The same word that Caleb Plant allegedly used towards Canelo Alvarez that motivated Canelo Alvarez to shove him across the stage. Okay, so he claiming now it's a language barrier that he didn't understand. You know, in his country, that word means directly towards your mom. But now we understand that he used the word as well. So let's say that is the case. Then why would you use that towards one of your other peers if you don't like that word being used towards yourself? Okay, that in itself is a contradiction. If you don't like that word being used and you saying you can say whatever you want to say to me, then why would you say that directly to Demetrius Andrade? And on top of it, Demetrius Andrade's parent, okay? Demetrius Andrade's father, okay? And that now you're involving directly, you're talking directly to Demetrius Andrade's parent, which is his father. So that shows a lack of respect, okay? And if you didn't know the meaning of the word, then why did you use it at that point in time, okay? And when you hear it this time, you clearly understand. Canelo clearly understands English. He clearly understands what the word meant. Okay, there is no language barrier that's preventing Canelo from understanding what the word meant. This is clearly a situation where Canelo Alvarez was simply in a position where he was feeling a certain kind of way towards Caleb Plant because Caleb Plant called him out on testing positive for clenbuterol, on his stablemates, Oscar Valdez and Martinez testing positive. Martinez and Canelo Alvarez, they tested positive for clenbuterol. Oscar Valdez tested positive for amphetamine, and he called them out, okay? And at the same time, the tweets that Caleb Plant put out there was being read. So Canelo Alvarez knew exactly what the word meant. He knew exactly what was taking place. Not to mention, you can see when the face-off, when the press conference first starting, they introduced Caleb Plant. He's standing on the stage. He's standing on the stage solely because he introduced first because he's the B-side. Then they introduce Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo Alvarez comes on the stage and he walks directly up to Caleb Plant as if they're in a face-off, okay? And then you can hear the directors and the coordinators tell Caleb Plant, no, we're doing posing right now for pictures in the introduction. Then he backs up, look at the X on the floor, stands in his spot and starts to pose for the pictures. But initially, he walked right up to Caleb Plant and was looking like he wanted to have a face-off with Caleb Plant. And Caleb Plant just looking down at him. And then he moves back and they tell him, no, you got to stand in. We're not at that part yet. So why would you so motivated to come right face-to-face with Caleb Plant? He hadn't said one word to you since those tweets. Actually, he never directly said one word to you outside of those tweets. And those tweets weren't directly to you. They were at you, right? But they weren't directly to you verbally. He didn't talk to you face to face, okay? So let's just listen to Canelo Alvarez saying the same words that he's claiming he don't understand, right? So he's telling them to get out of there, right? Tell them to get out of there. So you can see that's Demetrius Andrade's father. So listen to Canelo. Listen. Oh, what you heard him say? I'm going to mess you up right now, MF. Okay, but I thought Canelo Alvarez didn't know what that word mean. It was a language barrier. So why did you use it towards another peer's actual parent, okay, if you don't like it being used towards you, okay? No, it wasn't the words that he said. He used that as a roadblock, a way to deflect from what actually is taking place, because when Caleb Plant questioned him right then and there on the on the stage about testing positive, and then when it was asked to them by Brian Custer what Caleb Plant is saying, and he asked Eddie Reynoso tried to deflect, saying that Caleb Plant is trying to take down the whole country of Mexico. So Caleb Plant said, well, why aren't you just answering the question? What are you dancing around the question for? He's asking you directly about you guys testing positive, and they never answered the question. And at that point in time, once again, you can see Canelo and hear Canelo getting frustrated again and telling Caleb Plant, be quiet, so on and so forth. Don't use that word, this, and then. So he's using that to deflect from what's actually is taking place. And the facts remain is that Canelo Alvarez had no answer for the fact that Caleb Plant called him out and called out Eddie Reynoso and called out his entire stable for testing positive for banned substance. And there's simply no place in the sport for that. Point blank and period. There's no place in this. There's no place for that in this sport of boxing. Sport of boxing is already risky enough. Point blank and period. So the fact that Canelo Alvarez says he didn't understand, or he's using it as if Caleb Plant was talking directly to his mom and he misunderstood, or you could say whatever you want to say to me, but don't involve anybody else. That wasn't the case at all whatsoever, and he understands very well what was being said and how the word is used, and because he knows how to use the word, and he knows how the word is used when it's used directed into in his area, okay? So in his direction. So here we have Canelo Alvarez completely not telling the truth, point blank and period. So can't wait for this fight to take place November 6th. T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada is going to go down. History is on the line. This is the first time we're going to have an undisputed super middleweight world champion. And if Canelo Alvarez wins, he creates history 2 times over, because he'll be the first undisputed Mexican world champion to hold all 4 major sanction bodies. So history will be in the making November 6th. Can't wait to see how this unfolds and plays out. And like Caleb Plant said, if you believe that Canelo Alvarez didn't understand what was being said, or the reason that he was so frustrated and pushed me across stage is because I used that word. He says that, then you sadly mistaken. He's just frustrated that he has a guy standing in front of him that is not going back down, that's confident that he can win the fight and not just coming to collect a check. And I agree with Caleb Plant 1,000%. It's going to be a great fight. Can't wait to see it. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jaden Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.